the center of the mind, I'ma get mine. I'm feeling divine, it's a simple design. Citizens of the grind, humankind, something new to find in the vine. Sometimes, but I keep my eyes set on the prize. Already met my demise, better days on the way. I'm a renegade, running and gunning until I get a little shade. To be the same until the next hate, feeling great in a world filled with hate.
Find a beauty in the pain, the struggle again. Lift the weight all up in the brain, going thick in the blood. Break the arrow in half when it's stuck in the heart. Venom is in the veins, the race still lifted a ton. Cold win, now I won't win, yeah right. Sight like an eagle even when I'm in bad light. Only the weak in mind when they give up and can't fight. They never been us, they been stuck in the past life.
You better act right when you get a sad plight. Gotta fight every night, trying to get a place in a flashlight. That's right, hit the gas, do it fast, make it last to the match lights. That's life, you can never get enough. It's pretty get rough, fill up a cup and give a fuck. Give it up for the people in the front, the ones who never give up. Life's tough when you don't do much.
Yo, runner up never was us, and they got her stuck, kicking up dust. Pick up the pace quick, so when I begin to paint, people can feel the pain, and we live it every day. We're stuck in the basement. Beauty of the tragedy, looking down at me, put a nail in me, can't close the cause and lit. Could've quit, no one would've said shit, but then I chose to fight back. Thank God I did. Thank God I did.
I carry fears around in my mind. They've been there since I was a child. Afraid of those who say they love me. Afraid to sacrifice. Afraid of my dreams and the problems that they bring. Knowing I can't explain how they call me by name. And how I still believe in them. Thought it was safer to be invisible, safer to have a little, safer to be nobody, stuck right in the middle. But my heart pulls me out into the light. I can't fight it, so I write songs about feeling that I'm a fool for believing that I could be anything. So girls like me don't end up with everything. I'm broken and healing. That's why I sing.
Walk through the rain, never pause for the pain, through the cause and the blame, not lost within.
Caution to the wind and within, a definitive moment of motivation. Lost but I'm zen.
I'm picking the pace up and kicking the bass up. I put them in place, they can't stop my pen.
Still began to bend, but never break. Make mistakes, but never quit and maintain. It's never the same.
Walk through the rain, never pause for the pain, through the cause and the blame, not lost within.
Caution to the wind and within, a definitive moment of motivation. Lost but I'm zen.
I'm picking the pace up and kicking the bass up. I put them in place, they can't stop my pen.
Still began to bend, but never break. Make mistakes, but never quit and maintain. It's never the same.
Air is sweet with uncertainty, possibilities wrapped in worries. The energy of what could be surrounds me. Days stand still and never feel like tomorrow, but moments come like blinding sun and make me think it's joy, I think. Quiet thing is happening. Its heaviness is made of light. A bigness inside my tiny frame has called my name. And I'm alive. For the first time, I'm alive. For the first time, I'm alive. For the first time, and it's all happening, happening. A beckoning to what's unseen, a journey through what's within, that ends in reconciling the dreams in me to reality, and I'm alive. For the first time, I'm alive. For the
society, the traditions, the rules, the boundaries.
And we're back.
Hey.
Welcome to week 2.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, bud.
Proud of you for doing this again for another week.
Yep. 6 months.
6 months.
We're doing it. Here we are.
How's your week?
Not great.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
You want to tell me about it?
Decent timing for
I know.
for our
All week long, it felt like probably for both of us, it was a good topic this week.
Yeah, today's topic is mental health.
But before that, we're going to get into we're doing some catch up.
Yeah, let's catch up.
Okay,
first.
so tell me, first of all, wait, when we get to the topic, do you want me to interview you about mental health, or do you just want to take turns talking about our personal experiences with it?
The
Right.
second thing.
Okay.
So, we saw Nope this week. That was cool.
We did.
No spoilers, but I really liked it.
I did too. Once Riley gave me the philosophical rundown, I was super into it.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
And I thought the cinematography was amazing.
It was really cool.
The way they shot things and I'm sure used computers for things, but I don't know, the way they set the sky was so ominous and beautiful and imposing, and that was awesome.
Jordan Peele is a great director. I think that he's going to be one of the great directors too.
What's the other scary movie he did though that I don't
Get
like
Out?
at all?
Get Out?
No, it was the one where they're under the subway.
Oh.
Us or them.
Oh
or
yeah.
I don't like that.
He's got his own style. I think he's really good.
Riley said though that they watched it a second time and felt differently about it.
Mm.
So I might have to watch it again.
Yeah. What else?
Tell me about your week.
Well, I kind of just had a tough week. I just had a tough mental health week. So I don't know, I feel a little overwhelmed with all the things that I'm taking on, and sometimes I wake up and just feel, I don't know. I think it's everybody. But some weeks I'm good and some weeks I just feel, do you ever feel like you're in a kitchen or a restaurant and you're just running around doing everything, but you're not actually doing anything?
I mean, yeah.
You're not actually getting anything done.
That's because you have this need to produce, results. And you just really have a hard time with the rest periods of creation, which I think are really necessary. Then it's necessary to just be quiet sometimes and rest and ruminate on things and then go back to creating. But you just feel so you're a failure.
Yeah,
if
I
you're not
take multiple days off. If I take multiple. Hey, by the way, if you're out there and you're listening, just let me know if you can hear us, if everything is turning out all right. Yeah, any interaction would be cool. this will be a lot
Not
more
to be
fun.
desperate,
This
but
will be a lot more fun if people try to get involved at some point. But if you just want to listen and it's just a background noise for you while you nap or clean your house, and that's great too.
Yeah.
But yeah, let me know if you can at least hear us out there.
what was the low point of your week?
I don't know. It just started at the beginning, like at the beginning of the week last week. I just woke up and I don't know. It's just like a black cloud sometimes. I get back into this, like, what I hate is I get back into this, like, why not me shit, and this, like, this, like, want for more when my biggest thing that I'm working on is my, like, inner peace and contentment. And I think I'm getting there, but sometimes it's just harder than others, you know?
That's human.
Yeah, I think it's pretty human.
But you're sort of extra human in some way. I mean, you're amplified in some, like you feel things in amplified ways. It's very human, I think, to have ebb and flows. But as
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll talk about in this episode, you have other reasons that makes it extra.
Yeah, I guess like we were talking the other day, and we started to kind of quantify the.
Don't talk about that yet. I have that as a touch
Is
point.
it?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
You saw my notes. I was thinking
I
this,
didn't see
like,
your notes.
this is such a perfect example of the difference in our personality. Like, I have a page full of notes that I've taken throughout the week and whatever, like for the episode, right? And you're like a fly off the cuff. It's the same thing as like for shows. I want to be so rehearsed. I want to know what's coming. I want to know what's expected of me. And you're like, we'll just see when we get there.
Yeah.
Not me.
Yeah. No, I guess I like to work that way. If there's, I mean, it's nice to have like a loose plan, but I just feel like I work better off the cuff just because I don't know. I'll get in my own head if I forget I was going to do this.
Yeah.
But if there
That's
is,
why I take notes about it.
yeah, if there isn't any of that, then I don't have to worry about it. I just go.
Okay, but I want to do lighter stuff first. Okay,
Okay,
so
go
and
ahead.
then what was the highlight of your week?
What was the highlight of my week? I like working on that bridge, man. People like me up there. And I finished some tunes. I made some new production stuff. I went and did a meeting this week with
Imprint.
Imprint. Talked to their team, who they're super cool, and we got some.
You didn't notice I remembered to take it off before I got it.
We got some gigs coming up, which is nice. Some corporate stuff and some checks. But yeah, I mean, the highlight of my week was work, as usual. You're just gonna leave?
No, I'm right here. Did you have any?
Where are you?
Right here.
Where?
In the kitchen.
I'm just kidding.
Whatever. Did you have any cute kids this week?
Oh, dude,
Cute
always,
dancer kids?
always, always.
Tell them about the cutest kid.
Nobody can hear you.
Tell them about the cutest kid that you like to tell the story of.
Which one?
Oh, there's two of them.
little
There's
kid with the
dancer and then
glasses?
there's one. Do the one in the stroller.
Oh, okay. So, 2 nights in a row. Often when I play on the weekends, it'll be a lot of the same people because they have to cross that bridge all the time, right? So 2 nights in a row, this little kid.
I love that it's 2 nights in a row. That's the best part of the story.
Yeah. This little family. I could see as the kid gets closer to the beat, just starts like rocking,
in his
like
stroller, right?
this
Like
in the
banging
stroller,
his head.
yeah, like head
Any
banging
parent knows
so
that
hard.
when kids bang their head.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, so hard, and they would stop, and everybody's laughing. And the thing is like deadpan, like no, like usually the kids are smiling and stuff when they're dancing, but he was.
That's
Like,
what I love about it. He's just like feeling it.
Rocking, feeling it. Just like couldn't even help it. The music just took him
love
over.
that. So cute.
Well, what was the other one? Oh yeah, the
the
tiny little guy with the glasses, and he just looks up at me and he goes, "Awesome!"
I literally think of that scenario in my head, like at me sometimes. Like
yeah.
when I'm having a down moment, I just like imagine like your moment there with a little kid went awesome.
Oh
like,
yeah,
to
and
hype myself up.
the small Indian man with the big mustache.
Oh yeah, whose friend wanted him
And
to.
his friend was so mad. His friend is like yelling at him, like, "Let's go, man!" And he's just like
I'm having a moment.
just dancing. That happened 2 nights in a row too. He would just come over and he would just be grooving, and I start grooving, and then his friend is like, "Come on, man, come on, let's go."
That was like the one successful time that I went with you. It wasn't financially successful, but remember the lady came over and there was like a woman and her husband, and they were just like feeling it, like what we were doing, and I was singing, and I was like making up lyrics, which I never do. And what?
Oh, no sound?
No sound?
Are you kidding? It says there's sound. I just saw
On
a
what
comment that says
platform?
no sound.
On what platform?
Are you sure?
We'll fix it.
Oh no, I have sound.
Oh, okay. All right.
Maybe your phone is turned down.
Yeah, I don't know what platform you're on. Let us know if you're on a different platform.
No, it's on Instagram.
I was gonna say I wanted. Then you got to tell the kid stories all over again.
Okay, I think we're good.
Okay.
Sorry if it's not coming to you for some reason, but it seems like there's sound. Go ahead. Everything's
Oh,
lighting
the
up.
the woman and the husband that were just feeling us that night on the bridge, like, was really satisfying for me.
Yeah.
When that was like the most like flow moment I've had in a long time, where I was like making up lyrics on the spot, and like, cause I never do that, I never do that. But remember, I was like making up little hooks and verses,
Yeah.
and like there was this one couple that stayed for a long time and loved it. So I hope it goes like that when we do our new thing we're working on.
Yeah, I think it will. And it's just more fun when I don't know, it's really fun to perform when you could just it doesn't matter as much. You can explore and experiment.
Yeah.
It's really fun.
Because there's no pressure, like show pressure.
No, it's
on
not.
that. It's
Not
like
even
you can do
close.
whatever you want.
You could just jam out.
Let's also talk about the fact that Lucky is having a big fat nap right here, and I love
Your daughter
it.
just joined.
Hey.
Hi, Ty.
Oh, Tyler.
Yeah.
Hi, Tyler.
Hey, Too Sweet. Can you hear us?
I love you.
We played your video last week.
Hi, Too Sweet. Love you too.
We love you. Oh, yeah. Here you go.
What?
Bam.
I can't see what you're seeing. What are you seeing? Are you on Instagram?
Yeah.
There needs to be a place where we can just see all joiners and comments.
Tyler said hi.
Hey, Boulder.
Hmm.
Javier says, "What's good from Boulder?"
What up?
That's where my daughter is.
What up?
Hi, Boulder.
What are we talking about today?
Wait. I had more things. I
Okay,
had
go
more
ahead.
opening things.
Perfect.
Because I had some things I was excited to talk about. Okay, so did you watch any good movies? Listen to any good podcasts? Like anything that you in your realm that like you really like this week?
Dude, I binged Bar Rescue all week.
Oh my god, I knew that I shouldn't have asked this question. Oh, fuck.
John Taffer is a beast.
I'm so tired of.
I love him. I think he's great. He's just such a crazy.
It's like a highlight of the us having a hard week is the fact that you kept showing me Bar Rescue clips that I don't care about, and they stress me out because I have such a long service industry history.
He's in that freezer, just throwing all the crappy food everywhere.
And here's the thing about you: anytime I hear you in another room laugh, I know it's I start.
It's
counting
only a matter
down.
of time till it's
It's a
coming at you.
countdown until you come and make me watch it. Yeah. Like literally, sometimes I like pause when I'm watching. I'm like,
I
"Here it
try
comes."
not to. I try not to.
You don't try very hard.
No, I do. I really
But
do.
no, I don't find that entertaining in the way that you do at all. I wish I did because I
Well-
want to laugh as hard as you're laughing, but to me it just seems so excessive and abusive and like.
Well, it is at a
Because
point.
I've
but
worked
like,
for like abusive bosses like that.
I
like,
get that, but in the end, he's like really, really kind, and he says this a lot. Like at the end of episodes, he was like, "At first we clashed, you know what I mean, but now I feel like I'm looking in the eyes of a friend."
Right.
With his.
I just think he's. But I just
Here,
think
I'm gonna
he's
take
so
this
TV.
off. It's gonna make too much noise.
He's just so TV, and I think it's kind of just traumatic for the people on the show more than it's like beneficial. But
No,
I don't know. I don't know.
disagree. I think that sorry.
I
that
think the
probably sounds
training he
awful.
gives them is super beneficial.
My bad.
He's right in everything he says. I just don't think it needs to be so like hurtful. Like
Well,
the way
no.
he does
Let me
it.
get to my point. So my point is like some of these business owners and most of these business owners that are failing so bad are like really, really stubborn
I
and
know that.
stuck in their way and just super stuck. So like that's his aggressive
And
ass way of
stuck in like
changing their thinking and waking them up a
yeah,
little bit.
these people are stuck in something that is not working, that they're not willing to change, and is losing them money. And so I get why he has to like shake them out of it. I totally get that, but it's just I've spent too many years in bars and restaurants. That's just kind of hard for me to watch that show.
Yeah. So yeah, that's basically all I watched.
That's it.
Yeah, I mean, I watched 2 full seasons. The seasons are like 20 episodes long.
Oh my god. Okay, well me? Oh, you want to know what I watched that I loved?
Yeah.
Blackbird.
What is that?
It was I don't know what platform it was on, maybe Netflix or Hulu or something, but or Apple, I don't know. But it's a true crime story because I love true crime. But it was based on a real thing, but the acting in it for me, I was blown away. It was like this really suave, good-looking guy who was like a drug dealer, gun runner, and they give him an opportunity to go into like a high security prison to solicit a confession out of a really creepy fucking pedophile child rapist and killer.
Are always watching shit like that.
I know, but it's a true story. And the guy that played the like suave guy and like the breakdown he had like mentally, were, because the thing is, the deal was contingent upon this, and if he didn't get it, he stayed in that maximum security prison forever, and nobody got to know his cover, and like it was just really scary for him. And so he was like super humbled, and this like I had dreams about him. He was so attractive, but but more than that, the guy that played the creepy rapist guy, I even looked up, of course, immediately after it, like who the real guy was, and if he really, because remember how I made you listen to Truman Capote's voice the other day?
Mhm.
It's like worse than that. Like this, he had these big sideburns, and he was just so creepy, so disgustingly creepy. And the way that the guy played him, I thought was ingenious. So I hope they win whatever the TV awards are for that, because that was amazing. I also watched. What are you doing?
Keep going. I'm
Okay.
listening.
I watched the Rita Moreno documentary, and I'm sure you don't know who she is, but that was amazing. She was just a female force in the music or entertainment industry, and she faced a lot of like discrimination in the beginning, where like because she was technically like Latina, they made her wear like dark makeup and speak in an accent and be a Native American. Anything that was dark skinned, she played, and had to like be the archetype of that, or like the caricature of that.
Mhm.
But then she like broke through, and she was in like so many of my favorite old movies and whatever. That was cool. I watched the Capote tapes, which I thought was amazing. I watched a lot of documentary stuff. That's it. I just watched documentary stuff. But Truman Capote was like a really prolific and influential like writer of like, and I didn't realize how many movies had been made of his books. And he was like an OG like fag in New York City. Like, and I only say that word because, back then it was like
The
that's
word
what they
that
were
people used all
called.
the time.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like, even in the documentary, they talk about how the fact that like everyone knew he was gay, but you didn't talk about it. It was just
Oh
not
yeah, I
talked
remember
about.
you were
You
watching
know?
that. Yeah,
Yeah, you came in my room for a minute when I was watching
Yeah.
that, and I made you listen to his voice because he had like the
Yeah.
craziest like high pitched voice, and I was wondering if that was theater for him or if that was natural. Like, I wondered if he created that voice for himself to like stick out so far that he couldn't be touched. You know, like how people do that, like socially. Like, if I know I'm an outcast already, I'm going to go so far to the extreme that you kind of can't touch me. Anyway, I think I was just wondering if that's what he did. But
So, how was your mental health this week?
no, I'm not done. I watched the Andy Warhol Diaries.
Well, you've watched a lot of TV this week.
I watched a
didn't
lot of documentaries.
you?
Andy Warhol Diaries, my favorite new. You want to hear all the podcasts I listened to this week?
Sure.
You don't. Dear Chelsea. Hold on. What are my podcasts? Unexplained Mysteries, 2020, Dateline, MFN, Dear Chelsea, I Survived, Forensic Files, and Disappeared. And Goop, and another one I can't remember. I'm listening to podcasts. I'm addicted to podcasts right now. And Audible books, which we started the Dirty Jeans one on the way. You're so bored right now. Remember we started Dirty Jeans and we couldn't listen to it anymore because
Yeah.
he kept
Oh
saying,
my God.
what did he say? So
I don't
many
remember
times?
what his thing was, but it was just
Preceding our conversation that made us do this podcast, we were listening to Dirty Jeans,
yeah.
which was so whatever. But Quantum Healing by Deepak Chopra. Oh, and my next note was to apologize for interrupting.
For what?
After we watched our episode last week, I was very obvious that I interrupted you a lot, and I'm sorry. And I know that like we just talked about it outside. Like for me, that's active listening and engaged listening, but I know that it comes across as disrespectful and rude and whatever. So I'm going to work on that today.
Well, thank you. I accept your apology, and
I am sorry. I don't want to talk over you, and I just did it.
yeah, you didn't even let me finish accepting your fucking apology.
I'm aware. I'm aware.
It's all
I'm aware.
good. We'll get there. We're doing good. I want to know about your mental health this week because I went
This
broke
week?
I broke down mine. Yours seemed better than mine this week, which
It was in general, it was better.
which is
like
atypical.
I
of
know. In
our
general, we're
situation.
switching places the last
Yeah.
week or two. Like since we got here, I've been majorly depressed and, working through some really hard stuff. But
Right.
just in the last couple weeks, I've like felt better. I haven't had any nightmares. Which like I'll talk later about like the things that like afflict me. But in general, my mental health has been pretty fucking good this week. Aside from, I witnessed a pretty horrific death at work.
The hospital.
Not pretty horrific, a horrific
Very
death.
sounded very horrific.
It was a
to
very
me.
traumatizing thing to witness. And like I see a lot of death, I see a lot of active death, but like whatever, this one was just
Not anymore, right?
not as of today. I'm supposed to be tomorrow. I'm
That's
supposed to be work
news.
tomorrow, but yeah. So yeah, I'm technically unemployed.
Not
Well, not
working.
technically actually. I'm on a personal leave at work until my license comes through, but
No.
we're diving into music and
Jump out of the plane.
I know. Not a boat, a
You
parachute.
need a parachute, not a boat.
Whatever. But that was one of the harder mental health moments of my week. Other than us just not really getting along this week, like we butted heads a bunch, and
That's probably on me because I wasn't feeling good this week. So I have this thing. If you can relate to any of this, send us your stories. I got the emails down on the bottom of the screen there. Still Friends
please
Live
share with
Gmail.
us.
If you want to remain anonymous, that's fine. Just put that in the header or in your first thing or whatever. But so I go through this cycle where where I feel shitty, I feel depressed, and then it doubles down because then I feel guilt for my depression because I have it great. Like I have a great life. If you look, I mean, you could look through 100 other perspectives, or
Better than your life has ever been.
yeah,
really.
and better than my life has been. So that's the thing. When I get built into a daily routine, I start to look up, and then when I get depressed about it, I start to feel guilty for being depressed because I'm like, you have it good, like, and then it just doubles over, and then I basically just lay around and for a couple days, and I hate that. I just want to feel like I'm doing something. I don't know. When I'm working, I feel fine.
But you've never been to a psychiatrist, right?
What's up, Quinn? How you doing, buddy?
Quinn Lynch. Have you been to a psychiatrist ever?
Yeah.
Psychiatrist is who prescribes medications.
No, because I'm really, really anti.
A psychologist and a psychiatrist are different.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, so no.
So psychology is like a therapist or a counselor.
Probably not. And yeah, I have issues with. I don't like medication. I think we're overly medicated as a society.
I know. I agree with you in general, but I obviously have a.
When I eat healthy and I exercise, I mean that's the medication. Sometimes I just can't like get up and do it. If you have any tips out there on like how to combat that or like
because my God, all my tips and tricks you don't listen to.
I'm not doing horrible. I still
no, I know. I think you're doing the best you've ever done.
I'm doing pretty damn good considering.
Even your downswings, like your mental health. Even though I think that recently you've like identified some and named some things and like self-prescribed some conditions.
Yeah.
Even with that, I think that even is evidence of really strong mental health that you have now to be able to even look at it. Like, I think that your mental health is so good right now that you're able to like reflect and like analyze yourself in a way that I've never seen you be able to do before.
Yeah. It's better. And like even the down moments are, I fell off and I pounded some Trulies.
When?
At night. Yeah, I made you pick them up for me. What do you mean when?
Oh, I forgot about. Did I go to bed?
Yeah, at the beginning of the week. So I broke my like 4 or 5 month no drinking streak. But then I got more booze and I drank a little bit more. But I've been like letting myself if I want to, but I didn't really want to, but twice this week. But I did. And that makes me feel shitty too.
Well, and yeah, I have down here to talk about addiction as tied into our mental health.
Yeah, that's a big one.
How about tell me your history, your family history. Like, where do you think whatever you struggle with comes from, or like, where are your origins of like mental health in a way that you're comfortable talking about?
Okay. I don't know. Let's talk more generally. Do you think that mental health is more connected to like your family and your genes, or do you think it's more connected to is it more situational,
Like nature versus nurture?
Yeah,
It's both. It's definitely both.
it's both.
A lot of people are raised in awful abusive environments, but choose to overcome that, and other people are raised that way and don't really have the ability to overcome it, or choose not to, or choose to perpetuate it. So
Right.
like, it's both. It's just both. And a lot of that's another thing I wanted to talk about, was like money and education and access to mental health care, which I think plays a huge role in the stigma and in the access to it that perpetuates a lot of generational mental health
I
issues.
think more than that is just having, man, good, dependable people around you who are willing to stick their neck out for you. A lot of people are just forgotten because it's so hard to deal with some of these mental illnesses that they just get cast out, right? They get cast out from their family members. They get cast out. Like,
but sometimes that's necessary.
because
really it's only on you.
I've had a great support system most of my life.
But has your support system helped you fix your mental health?
Not so much. Sort of. Yes.
I mean, sometimes there's enabling and supporting are two different things.
Yeah. I think a lot of it is, I don't know. This is my ultimate question. Is like, how do you? It's so obvious what I need to do a lot of the time. I know, like there's the voice that takes over sometimes. That's the smart voice, and then the angry, depressed, wild voice takes over sometimes. Like I'm just trying to find a balance, man. It's hard.
But that's the thing, like, and I'm always encouraging you to, like, you know, get insurance, get on Medicaid, do whatever you got to do, find somebody to talk to, like. And I think for you even more than me, like, I mean, for me too, but I just think that it's like the way you were raised, like, that's not an option. That's not the answer. That I can do it myself. Like,
Yeah.
and
That's how I feel.
my view was I can do it myself until I was 40 years old.
Right.
And only in the last 2 years have I utilized mental health services. Really.
Well, I'm not doing a terrible job on my own. I'm like,
You're not, but you're
doing
still
better.
struggling.
Sometimes.
And now that I'm finding some relief from my struggle, it's hard for me to like not want the same for you.
Yeah. Well, at this point, I don't know. I'm mostly happy.
I know you are.
Like, I'm mostly grateful
You
and
are,
happy.
but you're
and
also really like
doing well. I notice it's my diet is more than anything. I notice when I eat right.
You started on diet.
Trust me, I know. That's what I'm saying. Like,
the gut is a brain.
I know the things I need to do to feel better, but instead I just order a pizza, and it makes me feel worse. I'm very, very. It's very, very clear that what I put in my body is what comes out of my brain.
Well, then talk about that more. Like, what are your ebbs and flows, and what affects them? Like, for you, that you've noticed for yourself.
Screen time to social media. I've like cut. That's one thing I did at the beginning of the week. I was looking at social media pages a lot, looking at view counts.
And that has comparison. And
Yeah. So I had to stop that. I stopped that basically for the week. I haven't looked at any of my pages or anything. I've been posting really, just because I don't know. It gets me into a weird space, and then I look and I see people doing this, and I look at looking at view counts, and it makes me feel shitty, and I hate that person. Like. Yeah. That why not me guy. I've been fighting.
We're all prisoner to that now. Like,
yeah.
That's just.
I don't like it, and
almost.
I'll just cut it out of my life if it starts to make me feel that way. So yeah, this is my social media right now. It's just jumping on here.
What else though? You've been doing. You do some meditation. What you call meditation to me looks like naps.
No, that's bullshit. I sit in this chair in front of the computer and meditate all the time.
You do?
Yeah, I do napitation as well.
Napitation.
But
That's what that is.
I only fall asleep towards the end. I'm usually awake for most of the time when I do that. But I've been doing it in the chair. I'll put on the meditation stuff. I'll sit in the chair. I clean up the house. I get some candles going, and I
That
just sit
helps you
there.
too, a clean house.
Yeah, how has to be clean, or I can't focus. Um, and then yeah, so if I do a workout first thing in the morning, eat something right, workout first thing in the morning, meditate, then eat something good, I'm set for the rest of the day. I don't drop things. I don't get frustrated. And that's the thing. I know how to set myself up for success, but some days I wake up
But
and
then
just
don't you think that maybe some kind of like therapy or help would help you build those better patterns and be accountable to yourself? And like, I mean, like I get that I can do it myself thing, but
Yeah.
like
But mostly I
at
just
what
have like
point do you call in
I
reinforcements
have
and say,
700 other things that cost $5,000 that I want to buy for
yeah,
the
but
studio. So
but I
like it's a
told you,
money
I mean,
issue
okay,
too.
well, it's on my list too to talk about like the mental health service that I found that is affordable. I mean, that's the thing, like, not to call you out or anything, but you don't have an excuse. Like, you
Yeah, I want to
don't.
make this more general. I feel like this is like just Jordan's mental health.
That's what the show is about. Well, I'm going to talk about mine.
Okay, cool.
Go ahead and ask me questions. Do
Um,
you have questions for me? Or do you want me to just talk
well,
about
let me
mine?
put at least
Okay.
finish
right.
mine. Like, yeah, I guess my thing is I know exactly what to do, but sometimes I don't do it. Like, how? What's the trick there? Well, how do I change my brain into wanting to do that every day, knowing that I'm going to feel better? And what is the thing that makes me want to be lazy and eat shitty food? Like, how do I get rid of that?
I think that's what everybody in therapy is working on.
Right. Yeah,
Literally everybody in some version of that. That's what people are working on. Like,
Mhm.
everybody knows what to do, but
Yeah.
it's just building the patterns of like how to do it. And
If you're out there and you have any kind of tricks, like hook it up, send it to the emails in the bottom of the screen there. Yeah, I know that a lot of people probably have similar situations.
I didn't want to do this episode to like attack you. I just thought we were gonna get
Oh, I don't feel
specific and personal.
I don't feel attacked. I just didn't want to. Yeah,
I know you're uncomfortable with it.
not necessarily, but I just don't. I don't know. I don't feel. I don't want to just talk about myself the whole time. I want to talk in general terms.
But I don't think general terms are what helps people.
Okay.
I think talking specifically and personally is what helps people, because
Okay.
then they can see themselves in you, and maybe they can make a decision that is helpful for them.
Fair enough.
Because I don't think there are really general terms about mental health. Yeah, generally people have mental health problems. The
Yeah.
end, goodbye.
Yeah.
I think that you being vulnerable and honest about where you're at specifically in your journey is
Yeah.
what could be helpful.
Okay.
And me too. I mean,
I guess that's fair.
obviously we're in different places with like actions we take or whatever, but
Yeah.
we both struggle very hard with
like I
mental
said,
health.
I'm mostly happy. I mean, but it just goes back and forth. And when I go down hard as fuck sometimes. And I just feel worthless. Like I just feel like I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Nobody gives a fuck. Like I just get into these zones, and it will last a while where I'm like,
Which are like normal things to feel,
Right.
but you have you have an exaggerated
Yeah.
reaction to those feelings.
for sure, yeah,
Which
it hits
is-
me hard.
yeah. Like too hard, and it's
Too hard,
it's
yeah.
hard to watch you feel that way.
Yeah, for sure. But like I said, I know exactly how to combat it. I already know the medication. Like wake up, work out, meditate. My day's good.
But I
Eat
mean,
something healthy.
not to disagree with you, but
What's
to
the
disagree
difference
with you a
between
little
that
bit.
and
But
taking a pill? If I get pills, then
it's both. I think it's both. I think that, like, I was just talking to my friend last night on the phone.
if I got pills, I probably wouldn't take those either. If I started feeling shitty.
But the only reason I started taking medication was because I didn't even have the fucking bandwidth to get out of bed or take care of myself. Like, how can I do the things I know are good for me when I don't even want to do them or feel like doing them at all?
Right.
You know? And for me, like, medication has sort of been the bridge between, like, help me get to that place. I just want help to get to that place where then I can take care of myself, you know? But sometimes you're buried so deep, which I don't know if that's ever happened to you, because you swing pretty like extremely through the two.
Mhm.
You know, like I get like super buried in one and I can't get out.
Yeah.
And so for me, like I needed help to get through what felt like an impossible passage, to like get to the place where I needed chemical help to be able to want to take care of myself, you know? And I feel like that's what's just starting to work for me right now. That's never worked for me before in like a different way. Like I have had plenty of times in my life where I had awful mental health episodes, and I spent every minute of my day like working at all the things, exercise and food, and like they work. However, sometimes your brain is just a little bit in need of help. Like some of our brains just don't produce the right chemicals, and sometimes we need help. And like I got to the place where I'm like, I don't want to spend every bit of waking energy I have finding my baseline, because I still wasn't finding any joy in living. I was just working really, really, really hard all the time at giving myself all the things I needed, but it still wasn't enough at some point too. So I spent my whole life being really against medication, super against it.
Yeah. So, I mean, you agree with me that we're just completely over medicated as a
Yes, but
society,
that
though,
doesn't
right?
mean that I think that medication is the enemy. I think that apathy is the enemy. I think thinking that you can take a pill and that's all you need to do is not the answer. I think that using medication to help fix your brain chemistry so that then you can go and do the work to make yourself better so that you can get off it. It's a bridge. It's not
I
a
don't know, man.
solution.
I don't know. It doesn't compute for me. It doesn't make sense to me.
But at the same time, it didn't for me either, but I never took any. And like it changed it for me. I against my own really like morals took medication, but it helped me so much. And it is right now helping me so much that I can't help but say like, look, like there's a lot of people that say like, if you need store-bought serotonin because your brain's not producing it, that's okay. Like
Okay.
everybody needs a certain amount of serotonin in their brain and dopamine and whatever to function normally. And if your brain's not producing it and you need to buy it and take it, that's fucking okay, because we all need a certain amount of serotonin in our brains. And like all these other conditions like depression and bipolar and whatever, like function on a certain depletion of serotonin. And like, so if you need to fill that gap for a little while to get your brain chemistry working again, then that's okay.
Right now. What else you got? I like it. I'm having a good time. This is actually making me feel better.
Is it
which
really?
is like, yeah, which is like part of the thing. I feel way less nervous than last week,
I mean, I
mostly
do too.
because all the production stuff is on point, it seems like.
I mean, I obviously like have a lot prepared here just because I've had a very like in-depth mental health experience, both with and without help and whatever. So where do you want me to jump? What do you want to know from me?
I don't know. What do you got next? What do you got on your little list there?
I mean, I just had a list of things I was going to ask you, but you sort of skipped through them or didn't want to talk about certain things. So,
No, we can go. Go ahead. What else did we miss?
I mean, well, family history was the first thing on my list. Like,
Yeah, I want to talk about that next.
well, I'll talk. Do you want to hear my family history?
Sure.
Well, you know my family history
Yeah.
a little bit, but I had an uncle who was a musician and attractive and in a band and whatever, but for what I don't know much. They didn't tell me much about it, but I know that he killed himself at like 40, 50 something years old. I think that both my parents probably have some undiagnosed trauma stuff. I'm positive of it. But because I grew up like in church, like church is supposed to fix everything. God is supposed to fix everything. So all the things I was struggling with very, very young, I just felt like I was a bad Christian because, I mean, they called me a demon. Like, I mean, it's just everything had such a spiritual.
There's a lot of guilt in that world. It's kind of wild.
Yeah, I mean, there was no like actual help for me. It was just, you're failing at connecting to God, and that's why you're not okay. Not like really bad things have happened to you in your childhood, in your precog memory that have fucked you up for life and changed your brain chemistry. Because that's the thing about like trauma, it changes the wiring of your brain.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
Nothing but like therapy and sometimes medication and a lot of time can like help you rewire your brain. I mean, an electrician wouldn't go into a house that has bad wires and go, let's just think about it. They would change the wires. They would put the right things with the right things and fix the problem. And like, I just feel like that's how our brains are, and a lot of people are like, well, let's pray about it, like, or like let's do some medically like documented things that can help, like dialectal behavior therapy, and like,
LSD.
and that too. Even actually, I was just talking to my friend. I don't know if she wants me to tell her name, but we were talking last night. She's been helping a lot of people with microdosing, and she's now going to
Yeah.
like take classes in that and get certified to be a
Believe.
practitioner.
Believe
And
it's
she's gonna,
real.
I agree, and she's going to bring me some like
Dose the
microdosing.
world.
Not in that way. You should have watched the
No,
documentary. But yeah,
I'm just being crass. But
yeah,
no,
but like I fully believe in plant medicine, in psychedelic therapy. You know, I've done a lot of research into that too, and I
Yeah.
fully believe in it. But for
So,
me,
Mom.
for me, that's not like an everyday, like accessible thing. My hope is that I could start implementing some of those things and do my resets and get off my medications.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't want to be on medication forever, and I'm not on like a debilitating, like mind numbing amount of medication at all. But what I'm on is helping me, and that's all I care about, honestly. Like my stubbornness doesn't make my life better.
Yeah.
My stubbornness made me suffer a lot longer.
Yeah.
But anyway, so my family history, I guess that's it. A lot of church. Church fixes it, and church didn't fix it for me. And
Yeah, I wasn't like forced on the religion. So we had to go to church, but there was like,
but you
my
weren't
grandma-
taught that God fixes everything.
I mean, there
like,
was like amazing cookies and shit at our church. So like I was game, you know. Like after the church thing, there was usually a basement or a
yeah, there's always food at
or
church.
an area with like all the best
Yeah.
like grandma cookies and food. So I mean,
What
you
kind
know.
of church did you have to go to as a child? Do you
I
know what
went
like
to
denomination? Lutheran?
Yeah, my grandma's a Lutheran church.
That's about this. I went to Episcopalian church.
I loved
That's
my grandma,
pretty.
so like whatever. I mean, she was such a great cook.
You never went to the. Have you ever been to a really like what's the word? Somebody tell me the word.
I don't know. What do you mean?
When
like a type of religion or what?
no, it's like a it's like within Christianity, but it's very like loud and people fainting and speaking in tongues.
Oh
and
yeah,
like
yeah,
what's the
yeah,
word for that?
yeah. Oh man, anybody got it? Somebody? Anybody out
Right? Anybody?
there?
I know the word, but I just can't think of it right now. But anyway, you've never been to a church like that?
No, dude.
I have.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah.
Oh, for real?
Yes.
You saw that shit for real?
Yes.
People being touched by the Lord?
Oh, I went to church camps where it was encouraged and kind of like you felt pressure to
like
faint in the
act it
spirit.
out and, like,
Yeah.
what?
People would like put their hands on you and you felt like if I don't faint, I'm the
That's
devil.
weird.
Yeah. And we were
Do you think that-
teenagers.
all right, let me ask you this then. Do you think that people, what do you think that is psychologically? Like, are people actually, like, what percentage of people actually getting the Holy Ghost in them?
I don't know.
Or is everybody just playing along?
I mean, I've listened to a lot of other things about like group psychological states and group psychosis and the power of suggestion and things like that, which honestly, I don't know that it's never real, but I think that in general, I think that
Sip Jones said Holy Ghost. Yes.
Hey! I think, in my opinion, in general, it's really just power of suggestion and wanting to belong. And I think that I've had experiences in my church life that felt good and real, but more often than not, I felt pressure to perform and
To be like with the
comply.
group, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And because I was just kind of rebellious and asked a lot of questions and was just like, this is kind of bullshit. Are you guys really feeling this? People were like, that's the devil, Jessa. That's the devil. So I just grew up with a ton of like religious shame, personal shame, coming to realize I was gay shame, like it's just all the shame.
If I can, I'm not anti-religion. Like
I'm anti-religion. I'm not anti-spirituality.
I think that organized religion can be good for certain people and communities. And if that's your thing and that's what helps you get through the week, looking forward to that and being with your people, and you like studying the Bible. That's your thing. I'm fine with that. That's cool with me. But I also don't really understand it with like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, a lot of the community part of it is beautiful.
I consider myself a very spiritual person,
Same,
but not like I also think that organized religion has done a lot of pretty nasty shit
same.
throughout history.
I mean,
so
I won't say
has
that I'm
created
for
some nasty
organized
shit.
religion. I think that where they started, I don't even know about where they started. I think things about religion are good, but I think that in the whole, on the whole, I think that religion really oppresses people and shames people and scares people
Well, we got
into
some.
not living a real full life. What?
What's Pentecostal?
Pentecostal, yes. That's
Pentecostal,
it.
sorry.
Pentecostal.
Wow,
That's it.
That was bad.
That's the speaking in tongues and all that. Yeah.
Yeah. So we got to come in here. I went to a Catholic school and didn't make my confirmation. I had to give a speech to the class why I wasn't doing it.
Oh, you didn't want to give your confirmation or do your confirmation? In Catholic Church, okay, I don't know a lot about the Catholic Church. I know
You
some.
can look up here if you want.
Yeah, wait, what do you want so I can just pull it up?
Well, this.
Oh, wait, right here. Hi,
this has
Sandy.
everything. Hi,
Oh,
Sandy.
she's from Las Vegas, right? She's the one that does the corporate classes. I think she said it's called Inclusive Conversations or something like that. She teaches corporate people to have more conversations, inclusive conversations.
Huh, cool.
Okay. Confirmation. Yeah. Explain to me what the confirmation is. Because there's a lot about the Catholic Church I don't know. But is that like when you take your first communion? Hi, Sandy. Yeah, tell me
I don't
more
know.
about.
I have no idea.
Yes, the assumption. Anyway, yeah. I mean, like I was Episcopalian, so that doesn't have the same things. But also, my parents were prominent in church.
What
like,
does that mean? You only just eat fish? No, sorry.
What?
I was just making a bad joke.
I don't even get the joke.
Pescatarian.
Oh, I said Episcopalian.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, that's what. What is that? Does that make a pescatarian?
Sorry, I tried to leave it in.
Well, I didn't understand it, so I had to ask.
No, go ahead.
Confirmation is when you commit to Catholic Church. Oh, okay.
16.
So it's like a baptism almost of.
Okay.
Right? I
Yeah,
mean, because in baptisms they commit you before you're able to talk and make your own decision, unless you get old enough to. Oh, it's probably a lot like Jewish when you do your. They do it at 16 too, I think.
The mitzvah?
Your mitzvah.
Yeah.
Bar mitzvah, bat mitzvah.
Yeah.
And you commit yourself.
I think they're two different ages, but for.
I think it's 14 or 16 for Judaism. I don't know. But yeah, my dad was youth pastor. My
I should know this.
Sang at church a lot.
I've done several mitzvahs for my.
For music. Oh yeah. Oh my God,
yeah.
you did that one. You said where they had all
I've played them. They're amazing. They're the most fun ever.
So much money.
I went to and I went to when I was a kid. I had a friend, and I went to his bar mitzvah, and I wanted to be Jewish so bad.
Totally.
Because I was like, this is amazing.
Right?
Like,
they get a lot of money.
Regardless of that, it was just like their amazing party, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, for my talent agency, I've done several bat and bar mitzvahs, and they're always a really good time.
Okay, but that's because they have a lot of money to spend on them. Have you been to a poor bar mitzvah? Can you even have a poor bar mitzvah? Can you afford one?
I'm sure they exist.
I think though that families
they
save money.
Are you suggesting that all Jewish people have money?
No, but I'm suggesting that that's a tenet of the faith is to save money and funnel money towards events like that other like American families like wouldn't do. You know, like they put it towards vacation. But I think that those families like allocate funds to that and like sacrifice for that.
Oh yeah, it's the same age. It's 12 or 13.
Oh, that's younger. Yeah, that's younger than I thought.
It probably takes a lot of planning. So.
And they have to do the whole. They have to do
I did a mitzvah at Mile High Stadium.
What is it called? Does anybody know what it's called when they have to sing the Torah thing? I don't know.
Oh yeah, I saw my friend do that. It was really impressive. It was like
learn
really
a
impressive.
lot.
Yeah, learn a ton of shit.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, let's see what I have else on here. what age do you think you started struggling with the mental health things that you would identify now that you like still struggle with? Like, where can you pin that in your history?
Sorry. Back up.
What age
Mm-hmm.
do you think that you started struggling or exhibiting signs or symptoms of like mental health struggles? Do you think that like can
Well,
you
I don't
pin that back
know.
to like
I
a lot
don't.
younger age where like, oh, that's
Mm,
when I started doing this or thinking this or
yeah, I never really ever thought of that. I don't know. Most of my it's really cloudy for me because of my like crazy phase of addictions and partying and
and
ridiculousness.
we're going to talk about that too. I have that on
Yeah,
here to like
so
connect those two.
it's tough to pinpoint like when I started to realize that I had weird cycles mentally, and but it's the
I mean, I
thing.
know it's just recently that you put the pieces together for
Yeah,
yourself.
so I mean, I never really pinpointed it till just
Do
recently.
you
I
want to
didn't
talk
even
about that experience at
think
all or
about
no?
it. I'm not really ready
Okay.
to divulge
All right, we don't have to.
all the way, but
We don't have to.
and I will eventually. But yeah, I think I was fucking crazy as shit and just didn't really know it for a really long time and was not managing it, but just putting myself in situations where people enjoyed it.
Yeah. Well, for me, knowing you for a decade now, like, you know, I see the manic times where like you're hyper social, you're hyper productive, you're hyper
Yeah.
social. Did I ever say that?
You said social twice. Yeah,
Oh, damn it.
that's cool.
Um, but yeah, then you're more risk taking. You're more like you want to impress everybody, or you want to, you know, be the star of the show of whatever room you're in. And then there's
Yeah.
other times where you're like really down on yourself and like, where are you going now? Oh, okay. And hypercritical of yourself or whatever. So I see those. I've always seen those for you, but I think lately you've gotten a better like handle on what that is.
For sure, and I just didn't even recognize it. And um, man, yeah, drugs and alcohol don't help. Mostly, the alcohol is the thing that helps me the least.
I know, yeah. So, okay, do you want to tell people about my mental health that you observe? I want to hear from your side, honestly.
Really?
Yeah,
Um,
you can be really honest.
all right. I think you just shut down. It's tough sometimes. When you shut down, you just told me about how many podcasts and shows you watched at the beginning of this. And I'm thinking like, man, I wish all that time was like spent working with me. You know what I mean? Like I wish you were in the studio with me working on this record and playing your guitar more. And so when you tell me about all these movies and podcasts, like you're either you come and you're there in short bursts and you're like shut down more. You know what I'm saying? But not in like a
Lately,
way
not all the time.
lately. Well, since I mean
The last couple years.
we're all going through a ton
Yeah.
of shit.
I mean, we
right
didn't live together prior to 6 months ago, so
Right,
it's
true.
more condensed now. Like
It's
we
getting
used,
better now.
we used to.
It was
We had scheduled time
was the
together, and I
worst.
could show up for that, but you didn't see me when I was at home being shut
right.
down.
No, it was the worst when we just first got here.
Yeah,
I'm just speaking on the experience
I know.
since we've been here.
You're not gonna hurt my feelings.
It was worse, but it's been getting better. But like, yeah, I'm ready for you to like give. You're here right now. We worked on stuff today. That always makes me feel better.
Mhm.
I just believe in our project so much that like when I just I want to see you give like everything.
Well, I mean, that
You
is
know what
where
I
I'm
mean?
at, but my everything and your everything are different. Like, I'm really interested in focused energy, like very present energy. I have to spend time away so that when I come into that space, I can give you everything.
Yeah.
You know?
No.
And you're different. Like our brains work differently. You're like all the time. You can
have
do it
to.
all the time.
Have to.
I think I've only recently like come to this place though because I used to be that way. I used to be all the time, all the time, all the time. But really I wasn't producing anything I was like really proud of or whatever. But now I would just recognize in this last 6 months where I have spent more time like isolated and shut down because I could, that I see my pattern now. Like I need to recharge and then I can go out and give that. And I know how much I can give and then I need to retreat. And I know that it is upsetting to people and mostly you, but I'm just like learning my I'm learning my own mental health boundaries.
Yeah.
You know,
I've been patient. You know
I
what
know
I mean?
you've been understanding and very
I have
patient.
plenty of other shit I work on too, so it's not like it's good. I can always work on that shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? I always have my hands full.
My whole life have been hyper productive, and right now in my life, I don't feel the need to do that. I feel the need to be more intentional with my
Yeah.
energy,
Okay.
with my creative energy, with
That's
my
fair.
social energy, and I'm just spending more time with myself. And like the thing is, like, our brains aren't that different in the fact that the reason I'm digesting nonstop podcasts and documentaries is because I want to learn. My brain never stops wanting to learn.
Right.
I just don't always need to do it in a social way. Like, I need to take in a lot of stuff before I have like more to give out, you know? And it will get better. It will get better. The better I get,
It's already
the
getting
more I'll
better.
have.
It's already getting better.
Yeah.
I just, dude, this is the thing. When my
But like
mental
my
health-
shutting down feeds your panic, anxiety about
That's what
not
I'm saying.
producing. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I want.
But that's the part of it too, that like you need to figure out for you, so it's not my responsibility to help you feel productive, you know? Because I have to, and I'm now learning to like set boundaries for like, not today.
Right.
I can't do it today. If I force myself to do it today, we're going to argue and I'm going to feel bad and whatever. Like, if I can come to the table like ready to go, that's way more productive than, I don't know. But I'm having more good days than bad days. I'm having more
Yeah,
days
for
where
sure.
I feel like talking to people,
For sure.
leaving the house, like,
Yeah.
which hasn't been the case for a long time.
Yeah, no, things are getting better ultimately. Like everything's and that's the thing. Everything's fine. Like everything's going fine. But that's when I suffer is when I just feel like it's not, and I just stop going with the flow.
And you know that it's not logical.
Be a river, Jordan. Be a river. Be
Yeah.
a river. Be a river. That's the best thing I tell myself every time and any time is just be a river. Just go.
Flow around, flow under, flow
Yes.
through.
That's right.
Relax.
Yes. Relax.
And it's interesting too that like as best friends, like we are so on different sides of
Grim and
this.
darling, we're like the yin and yang.
And
always.
we have like the perfect trigger for the other.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I have so much anxiety, and your need for me to always be around and producing gives me so much anxiety, and my need to shut down and escape gives you so much anxiety.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's rough.
Yeah,
it is rough for us.
It can be.
All right, let's see what I have else. Okay, natural. Okay, I had history with therapy and counseling. You don't really have any. Do you? Have you ever been to a counselor of any kind?
No.
I have an extensive history with my parents. And the thing is, I was really averse to it for a long time because my parents forced it on me. Like in high school, they made me go to a psychiatrist and a therapist who diagnosed me with bipolar, which was not accurate. And I knew that at the time. So after that, I was like, really, they wanted me to take medication. They said I couldn't live at home if I didn't take medication. And I was like, nope, I don't want to take it. So that's why it took me until 40 years old to like think about it differently. But in the meantime, I did discover some natural things. So like what natural things, like you've already talked about a little bit, help you that you've noticed?
Weed.
Food. I mean, obviously weed. Like you're the one that changed my thoughts about marijuana.
Yeah.
Because I really had like a Reagan kind of idea about drugs, because I grew up in the Reagan era of the war on drugs. And I hadn't had a good experience with marijuana. So watching you, I'm like, that's medicine for you.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
It's medicine.
Yeah.
It doesn't make you lazy. It doesn't make you stupid.
Nope.
That is what takes you from a 15 to a 10.
Oh, yeah. And my mom is the same fucking way. I am my mom, dude. I'm turning into her more and more. Hi, Mom.
We love you.
I'm turning into her more and more, and I get it.
Mom needs to know how much you clean and how obsessive you are about cleaning.
Mom
starts so proud.
Starts with like 50 milligrams down the hatch in a bowl of weed, because if we don't, it's just all day.
And either positive or negative. If you're in a negative space, you're negative,
Exactly.
angry.
Exactly.
And it's a lot. It's a lot.
Pulls
for people
everything
around
down
you.
to earth. That being said, like I've used it to my advantage. Sometimes I won't smoke weed if I know I just have to be like
productive,
super productive in there. But I don't know, other people around me.
No, I've never seen anybody or known anybody that smoked or ingested as much THC as you, but I would never condone it more for anybody than you. Like,
well, thanks.
You need it.
Yeah.
It's so obvious when you don't have it. And if
Yeah.
that's the replacement for, I mean, that's the thing. You're against medicine for things, but
That's what works for me.
if you had found a pill that did that for you, wouldn't you take it every day?
That's a pretty good point.
Right?
Fuckhead.
I mean,
Sorry, I just called you a fuckhead. I'm getting too comfortable with this
I know.
live
It's
stream.
okay. I didn't even hear it.
The
I
mic
didn't even
did
hear it.
because I went fuckhead.
I didn't even hear it. But I mean, really, like if you had discovered, an edible and the doctor gave you an edible and said, here, take this every day. Like, would you not be like, oh,
No,
that actually
I
helps?
guess that kind of makes sense. But no, it's
Because
really
it doesn't-
natural. It's not made in a fucking laboratory. That's
I get
the
that.
problem.
I get that. But a
Right?
lot of the and I'm not talking about benzos and things that are addictive and bad. I am talking about serotonin replacement, things like that your brain needs to produce, what's the difference? I mean, and honestly, that's the other things that like ketamine and LSD and all those things sort of replicate that, but not everybody has access to that or can handle that. And I'm open to all that too.
Yeah.
And I would rather do those things. But because I can't do ketamine therapy every day or I can't go on a weekend ayahuasca retreat,
Man, that would be awesome.
I know. I've always wanted to do that.
Well, we're gonna eventually get some. We'll microdose you.
And I
take
feel
you on
like,
a
remember we talked about
little retreat.
when I feel ready, I'm ready. Like, I'm ready now to do our like LSD, whatever trip to the mountains or whatever, because I was too afraid.
Just do it at home. You don't want to.
I had too many like active demons recently, but I feel safe now to do that.
That's my
Oh,
Lucky. She's so
baby.
cute.
Can they see her?
I don't know. Yeah, a little.
Oh, barely. She's so cute. All right, now meds. Okay, for me, meds that helped.
Oh yeah, let me
Oh
finish,
yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
finish mine. So yeah, weed and seriously working out, even if it's 10 minutes, like stretching and working out and eating a healthy meal is huge. If I can do,
Changes your brain chemistry.
dude, if I can do all those things first thing when I wake up without looking at my stupid phone, my whole day is better. That'll help me for 2 days even. Like that's the real medicine for me, and that's what always works. But it's not always easy to do that, as everybody
It's
knows.
not. It's like
But it's
hardest.
so simple. It's so simple. It's
the
simple.
hardest thing to do. To
20
do
minutes.
the easiest, simplest thing. It's like I'm
Or
in a little
half an
meditation
hour.
corner.
Right.
The easiest thing I could do is plop my butt 2 feet from my bed and sit down, close my eyes, and do meditation. And I've done it like 3 times since I made my meditation.
Half an hour. Think about how long sitting and staring at your phone for half an hour
I know.
feels. Like it's not that much time. If I can do that half an hour first thing in the morning,
But I just
then
think that
everything's
self-reflection is uncomfortable for a long time, and that's why we don't want to do it, because anything that
Yeah.
leaves us alone with ourselves feels really uncomfortable until you get comfortable with it, and then
Right.
it becomes addictive. Then you want to do it. Because I've had both those periods in my life. I've had periods where I was like so, exercise every day, yoga, healthy eating, clean eating, like reading good books, and I felt like on fire.
You are your own medicine. I agree,
Oh,
Sandy. I
yeah.
100% agree.
I agree with that too. And I'm not going to disagree with anybody that doesn't want to get on medication. I don't think it's for everybody. I don't think it's a fix.
But
I think that for me, I needed to get to the place to realize that it is for me, and I needed it to get out of a really bad place.
Yeah.
And I just don't think that people should rule it out entirely. I think that you should get a psychiatrist that you trust, or a therapist, or somebody that can talk
Some of those
through
people
it
are
with
crooks,
you.
though, no?
Probably, yeah.
There's probably a lot of those.
I mean, I
people
think
are
a lot of
crooks,
people just prescribe. And honestly, I think that as much as I loved my last psychiatrist, I think that she did that for my ex, really to a detriment. And I don't think she took advantage. I just think that she wrote scripts for him that didn't help, and they contributed to the problem, or weren't really listening to the reality of the situation, or like, I don't know, like I don't know that there was a real connect there between medication and like real life.
Yeah.
I feel like my counselor that I go to is not a medication person. Like, she didn't advise me to get medication. I did it separately from her. So I have like both sides of the mental health sphere in my head.
I had a question.
Yeah.
Is there any human being on Earth that's like all the way good?
I don't know.
On the topic of mental health,
I don't know.
Do you think that it's like the human condition, like a part of the human condition
To
is
suffer?
that Do you think that a part of the human
Oops, I know. Sorry.
do you think that a part of the human condition is just that you have bouts of depression? There's always going to be some sort of like mental health issue, or do you think that there's people who are just truly happy? I don't think that it exists.
I
Do you?
think that it is definitely part of the human condition to go through hills and valleys. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's just being human
Right.
and life circumstances and whatever.
Mhm.
I also think that in current life and society, I don't know really if it's possible anymore. I think that we've created a human society that completely eliminates the possibility of peace.
And oneness and contentment.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there are people that are probably pretty close, and they're probably not in our generation.
Naval, my boy Naval.
I think that there are people that get it and want it and strive for it and are probably way closer than a lot of us.
Yeah.
But I just don't think you can live on this planet in this day and age and not be affected by the toxic.
I think that's what I would prefer over a psychiatrist or psychologist is a spiritual guru.
That's what that Durga, that's what that is. I'd go to a spiritual counselor.
Yeah, I want a spiritual counselor. I don't want a therapist.
But honestly, I got to the point, I've been seeing her for like 5 years. I got to the point where I'm like, I get this, but I can't implement it. And that's when I decided to include medication so that I could get to the place where I could actually like implement the things that we were like talking about that makes so much sense, but I just didn't have the bandwidth to do it at all.
Yeah.
And in another point in my life, I think that I'm doing the work now to get to a place where I actually can be the healthiest I've ever been and not need anything.
Wouldn't it be awesome to go back and know everything you know now?
Yeah, it'd be amazing. I would avoid so many things. Wouldn't you dodge so many?
When you get old, don't you realize that you should have listened to old people?
Yeah.
In a
Oh, yeah.
in a lot of ways.
It's a hard pill to
It's a
swallow.
tough one, isn't it?
It really is.
Yeah.
Because in your youth, you're like, you don't fucking know, you're old.
Oh,
And then
shut up.
and then
And
you
you're
get
so
to the-
annoyed by it. You're
right.
like, shut
You're like, you
up.
don't even
Like,
know.
what does that
You don't even live now.
What the hell is that even supposed to mean, old
I
guy?
know. And then you get a little older and you're like, oh, they lived so much more life than me.
They knew what
And
they were talking about.
they understood so many
Save
things.
your money.
I mean, my God, like
Put half of that check away and then spend the other half.
know.
And then before you know it, you'll be a fucking millionaire.
you know what, actually to that point too, I think that mental health is really a new thing for us to tackle as a generation, because as much as I think people in the past needed it, I think that, you know, in the 50s and 60s when toxic masculinity like took its high seat, I think if a lot of those people had access to mental health, or it was like an acceptable form of living, maybe we wouldn't have gotten such like a toxic patriarchy or whatever. Like,
are we talking it's the white man's fault right now? Are we moving into that? It's all the white man's fault.
well, I'm just saying mental health in general. I think that if we had access and an understanding of how much it matters in prior generations, I think that women would have stood up for themselves a lot earlier. I think that the oppressive white man or whatever would have maybe backed down a little bit. Like, if we understood aggression and power and dominance and all that in a more like woke way, I mean, and that's what I hope for like my kids' generation, is that maybe these power dynamics can shift a little bit towards an equilibrium, you know?
Yeah. Oh, I think there's something. I think that there's a lot of obviously, like you said, toxicity in that realm. But I also think that some of that shit is legit. Some of like, no, just like counting on yourself and hard work and stuff like that. Some of those values I think are important that we're losing.
Well, I think that's the swing of the pendulum.
Right.
Like, yeah, everyone was like, wipe it, rub some dirt on it, to I deserve a blue ribbon for showing up today.
That's what I'm saying.
Right? But I'm saying, I
yeah.
think we're in another place in that now. I think that there is a balance in between there that is the ideal, where, yeah, of course we need to work on our own fucking problems. Of
Yeah.
course we need to put work into that. Of course we
Right.
need to be self-reliant
Like
and whatever.
that
We
whole like
also-
hard-nosed approach to life, like no excuses, like hard work.
Okay, but those people
I
died
just-
of heart attacks and heart disease.
I'm
and
not saying the extreme version of it. I'm just saying that there's some validity
we're saying, of course there is.
to those sayings
I'm
and that
agreeing
way
with
of
you.
thinking.
But I'm saying some of that way of thinking now can include I need to take control of my mental health and go to therapy. I need
Right.
to take control of my obesity
That's
and work
the other
out. I
side of
need
that
to
pendulum.
right,
Yeah,
like
it's like, oh no, therapy's for
right,
whatever.
therapy's for
or-
pussies.
Yeah,
No,
or
it's
that's
not.
bullshit. Or
Boys don't cry. Yes, they do.
I agree. That,
you know?
I think we reached the whole crux and like the whole point of what we're doing.
I think that society now is inching its way back
Oops.
towards the middle.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But no, I think we reached exactly what we're trying to get at here is you and I's views and how that meets in the middle.
I didn't know what we were trying to get at here.
No, that's what I'm saying. I think that that's it. Like you have a different view than I do, and I think that wherever that pendulum stops in the middle is kind of like where we should try to be as a
Ideally,
society
yeah.
and as
As
a
far as mental
people.
health, yeah.
Yeah, and
Are you trying to shut me up now? Did
No,
we go
not
too
at
long?
all.
Oh,
No, what? How long have we been on here?
I have no idea.
We're a little over an hour.
Really?
Yeah, like an hour and 15 minutes.
Well,
We're trying to keep it around an hour, right?
I just wanted to talk. Well, there's a couple things I
Let's
actually
get
wanted
in.
to talk
Yeah,
about.
we can
Okay.
take our time. We can get into wrapping it
Um,
up. We can take as long as we want. Yeah.
I wanted to talk about some of the things that have helped me.
Okay. Thank you guys.
Or
Thank you if you tuned in today. Thank you for commenting. Thank you everybody.
I feel like I'm getting pushed off stage for my
No,
Oscar
no, I
speech.
just want to say I
Yeah.
just want to put it in there. We're gonna
Yes,
we're gonna
thank
be here
you.
every week, every
Yeah.
Sunday. Much love to everybody.
I don't even know what we're going to talk about next week, but I'm nervous because
And
it's just going to get harder.
help us out with some topics and some stuff. Hit us at stillfriendslive@gmail.
Stillfriendslive@gmail, yeah.
Yeah, it's up there on the screen. Please hit us up and just let us know what you're thinking. If you have ideas, any of that stuff, your personal stories.
All right, here. I
But yeah, go
wanted
ahead.
to ask you about midlife crisis.
We're talking about midlife crisis.
Yeah,
Okay.
we didn't touch on the things we started to talk about in the
True.
beginning. Talk about your midlife crisis. You want me to talk about mine first?
Do you want me to talk about how your speech sent me into
Yeah.
one?
So yeah. So I don't remember. What was it? This last one, the death.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this man that died was only 64, and I came home and was just talking about the horrific thing I had seen and with his death, because I see a lot of death, but I don't see a lot of people awake one minute and literally dead another, and all the CPR and blood, and just it was a lot. And yeah, when I was just talking about the fact that, like, I was talking about how a lot of the young nurses are a little callous to it because they don't see themselves in the patient, and they don't even see their parents in that patient. Like, but for me, that's 20 years away from me. Like, that's a breath away. Yeah.
That you said 20
It's my
years.
It's my parents' age. It's younger than my parents' age, and will soon be my age.
You quantified the rest.
Yeah.
The rest of the good years that I have left, and it made me feel ways.
It's really scary. It's really scary because, well, even last night I was talking to my friend, and I was like, we were talking about work, and I was like, we're at the age where we get to decide not, what we want to do with the rest of our life. We're at the point where, like, okay, we've done this so far, but what do I want to do with the rest of my life? Because I'm at the halfway point, and these are decisions that need to be made. How do I want to spend the rest of my time? I have the experience of spending my time this way. What do I want to do with that? Do I want to suffer for the next 40 years? Do I want to thrive for the next 40 years? And, like, yeah, midlife crisis is definitely like,
do you want to just be secure? Do you want to, like, take on something else?
yeah,
You
do you
know
want
what I
to
mean?
sell
Like,
out? Do you want to dream bigger?
Right.
Do you want to,
Do you
are you
wanna-
ever going to figure out who you
Yeah.
are? Are you ever going to reach your goals?
Do you want to just settle in and be comfortable, or
Yeah.
do you want to, like, still keep, like, reaching out and
Because
trying to be something different?
we're
and
at the age where it is
looking
kind of,
towards these dreams and goals.
it's hard not to compare. We're at the age where
Yeah.
people our age, like we said last time, people have got kids and houses and cars and careers and security, and they're probably
Right.
really bored and whatever. But
And if you're a musician, you're either have already done it or
Yeah.
you're not gonna.
yeah,
Right?
I mean, we really are at that, like, pivotal point of, like,
I still think the only people who don't really get to a point where they can have that be their career is the people that quit. And
I
I think
agree
a
with that too.
lot of people quit at our age.
I try to remind myself all the time of musicians or actors or anybody that hit it after 40. Like,
Yeah.
not everybody hits. I was just listening
It
to
doesn't
a
happen
podcast today with
often,
Dax
but it
Shepard, and
happens.
he was talking about seeing someone write a really poignant book at 13 and he was thinking like, oh, well, I'm 13, I missed it. And that's how I used to feel about like Kids Incorporated.
Right.
I didn't make it on Kids Incorporated with Justin Timberlake and all of them at that same age.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
yeah.
I'll never be famous because I didn't make it. And at 18 years old, I wrote my dreams of being a musician on a piece of paper and burned it because I was like, I have to let it go. I'm an adult now.
That's why you fucked it up.
I did. I let it go because I was like, I'm not going to be a child star. I'm too old to be a child star. And if it doesn't happen now, it's never going to happen. I don't have it. The end.
Right.
Now, had I done anything to pursue it at that point? No, absolutely not. But, like that's just how I felt about it. Like, and the thing is, then you get to this age and you're like, no, I'm not done yet. I do have a lot of life left. It's not over for me, but are my chances done? Like, yes, I could go to school and become a lawyer now if I wanted to, or a doctor, or whatever I wanted to do. But in the entertainment world, like, is there still a place for me? Is there still somewhere to go from here? Is there still an audience for people our age? Like,
Yeah.
that's what's scary about it. And what's sad about being scared about that is that I feel like I have so much more to offer now than I ever have. I feel better at what I do.
Yeah.
I'm having like the early 40s, like rush of power that I always hoped would happen. And it's happening. Like, I feel so much more secure in myself, so much more like serious about what we're doing. And yet it's sad to think like, but is there no space for us? Is there never going to be a space for us? And that's, you can't know that, but you can't know unless you just keep going.
Right.
And like, I, at this point, cannot imagine being 80 years old and being like, I gave up at 40 and that,
Yeah,
I
no.
can't do it.
Hell no.
I'm too far in now.
No,
I'm
hell
too far
no.
in.
And I feel that so much, but I'm always telling myself like, you're there, right?
You are.
But I'm saying in general, like you get to play you've done some really cool shit. Like you have. As a musician, you've done some cool ass shit.
Not on my own.
Stuff that people dream of doing.
Yeah, I know
If
that.
people wander the streets playing their guitar or whatever,
And those can't ever be taken away from me. Like,
exactly.
I'll hold those forever.
So I think like that. I try to think like that. I try to think like, I'm here. I've done it. You know what I mean? And because I've done so much shit, so I try to think from like, okay, I'm already here. Am I enjoying myself? And that's what we've been talking about lately, right?
Dax just said on the podcast, like, would you rather be a failure at this thing you're trying or successful at another job that you don't want?
Right. Exactly.
And yes, I would much rather risk failing at what I want to do than give up
Yeah,
and go
exactly.
do something I can do and don't want to.
And this is the question I ask myself before I do anything now is like, am I enjoying myself? And I have, yes. I'm here. I'm going to try not to think about everything else. I want to be here. I want to be present. I want to think about the day, the gig, whatever
You're
it
doing
is.
so much better at that than you used to.
Yeah,
too.
yeah. And I want to fucking enjoy myself.
And we've done that, like in our last episode, like when we got to this place together, where we're like, this is about us having fun.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, if you're not having fun, you shouldn't do it. And it wasn't fun for a while.
Yeah.
For me or you or like together. Like,
I was frustrated for a long time. I'm finally in a position to where my production skills are to the point where I can actually enjoy myself.
Yeah.
I don't hit walls. I don't feel frustrated. And so that's what I mean where I'm like, you're here. Like the hardest work is done.
It is, yeah. And to give up now would be so sad because now we have all the tools.
Yes.
We have all the tools. We have
Yes.
the tools to say something that matters, to write music that sounds good, to record and produce music that sounds good. And like, like we have what we need. So now is not the time to give up, even though it feels there's a lot of pressure, I feel like, to give up.
100%.
But I mean, almost daily people tell me like, oh my God, you're a musician? Keep doing it. Keep doing it. It's like people are so desperate to know that it's possible for somebody to live their dreams because so many people don't. And I feel all of that on my shoulders.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm like, but you're not the one that's going to die hungry and destitute if it doesn't work. Like, you're the one with an actual career right now and a retirement plan and a house that's bought. Like, I'm the one that, like, I know that I'm holding your dreams on my shoulders, but I'm also like, there's a lot of risk. There's a huge.
It's a risk. This is why people don't do it.
The chances are so far against us that we will ever really find success in this.
There's realistic terms, though. This is like doing stuff like this, printing merch, like turning things into a business. Like actually getting out there, and we're doing good, man. Like it's small potatoes, of course, but like if we can get slightly bigger and be an independent artist, it's possible. It's possible.
I hope it's possible.
You don't have to be famous to have a career in music.
I mean, no, that's true. That's true. And that's my goal was never to be famous. It was for us to have a successful career.
Exactly. That's always been the
If I can pay rent
when
and
I
feed
was
my
younger,
children,
I
then we're
definitely
good.
wanted to be famous.
Yeah, I don't
But
want to be famous.
I got over that a long time ago. I just I want to work as a producer, and I want to play music. I
And
want to
you're
create
doing it.
music,
I mean,
and
you
I am.
are actually doing it.
I
Right
am.
now.
I am. I'm doing it. I took
It's-
the leap. I don't have a job, and I'm doing it.
And you're making more money than you've ever made not having a job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
So hopefully that happens for me too, because I have
grateful.
bills coming up.
Yep.
All right, let me barrel down. I know we've been talking too long. Let me barrel down this. Let's see if there's anything worth talking about. Diet, gut health. We talked about that. Meditation, EMDR, and DBT. I wrote down. Those are two. Well, EMDR is a form of therapy that I think is super effective. I won't go into it. Look into it if you haven't heard of it. DBT is dialectal behavior therapy, which honestly is really good for everybody. If you get a workbook on DBT, I think
Say that again.
dialectal behavior therapy.
Okay. And what's that?
It's 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 a system of identifying triggers and physical cues and mental reactions and like forming them into like a response that is healthy, or finding ways to respond to things in a less like volatile way, so where you can like, it's like processing external stimuli and realizing how it happens in your body, and then like learning behaviors that are appropriate after that will give you the results you want. You know, like it just teaches you the behavior therapy of, okay, I get that you're triggered, but you can't behave like that afterwards.
Okay.
It's like, let's try these behaviors instead, and then
Right.
you'll probably build bridges with people instead of alienate them.
Okay.
Things like that. And like CBT is like, I think, cognitive behavioral therapy, and those go hand in hand. I have a really good like workbook for DBT.
What else?
What else?
What else can people do?
Oh,
help
I
with
take supplements
improve?
for my adrenal health. Anybody that has been in a constant state of nervous system, like heightened nervous system, you know, like my nervous system was fried after the last year of my life. Like that's why I think I slept so much when we got here. Like my nervous system was so overloaded from trauma and from like your fight or flight response, like constantly, like your nervous system gets fucked up. And that like gets your adrenal gland to like overproduce, which is why probably I had like nightmares and can't sleep and whatever. So my therapist suggested I start taking some adrenal support things, which I did start doing recently. So that's helpful. Sleep hygiene is the thing everybody talks about. I don't do good at it, and I don't know if you do either, but
What's sleep hygiene?
Sleep hygiene is having a routine
Oh yeah.
that sets your brain up to fall into deep, restful sleep. Like turning off a TV at a certain time.
I really have problems with sleep.
Listening to a meditation. But do you know what your sleep is? Like, have you ever like tracked your sleep and seen how long you spend?
I know
in
that
deep
I
sleep?
sleep 6 hours.
Do you
no
feel
matter
rested?
when, no
do you
matter
feel
where.
rested when you wake up?
No, it takes me like 5-10 minutes.
So, well, sleep hygiene is basically like diving into your sleep habits. Like I had a watch that would tell me how long I spent in deep sleep, like REM light sleep. So I would have like 5 hours of light sleep and like 2 minutes of deep sleep.
Oh, I have no
you
idea.
know?
No.
Right. So that was
It's
like
usually just out, up, back to the world.
right, which you're probably doing fine because you have plenty of energy. But like as someone with not good energy, I always wondered what was wrong, and that's because I wasn't having good sleep. And so there's things you can do to set your body up to have better sleep. So that's what sleep hygiene is. The Insight Timer app for me is really good. I do a lot of meditate. I put my earbuds in at night and listen to a lot of meditations. Binaural beats. I showed those to you once. I don't think you ever used them, but that's where two tones, like there's the alpha, mega, theta, and beta tones, and they all like trigger your brain in some way. And so binaural tones like play two different at the same time that like help your brain to get into the state of either deep relaxation, creativity, deep thought.
Yeah, I dig that.
You know, like all that stuff. So, and it just goes.
Yeah, I like that.
But there's a lot of apps that you can like adjust, like if you want background music or rain or anything behind that, so you're not
Yeah,
hearing
yeah.
it. But that's
No,
really
I'll
cool.
go full in. I'll put
Yeah.
the cans on and
Binaural tones are it.
just
That's
take
just
'em.
brain chemistry
Yeah,
at work, right?
I like that. I want to look into that more.
Cerebral, that's what I was telling you about. Like, I know there's like a lot of sites right now because I was really overwhelmed at like how to get help when we moved out here, and I had to leave my old insurance and like health team. But I got on Cerebral out here, and I think it's great. It's affordable, and they mail my medications to me, and I can just on an app like select my appointments with people. I can cancel, reschedule anything I want. It can be Zoom, it can be phone call, whatever I want, and like,
Nice.
that's really awesome for me because I back out of my self-care a lot, and I really wanted to hold myself accountable to my progress right now. And I'm really glad because my new psychiatrist, who seemed like such a cunt when I met her, she was such a bitch. But she was like, that's wrong. That's wrong. No, none of that medication. This one, this one, this one. I want you to do well. And I was like, okay. And then I saw her again the other day. She's like, how you feeling? And I was like, much better. And she's like, good. See you in 3 months. And I was like, okay.
Damn. Well, some people just know what they're doing.
I
They get
know.
straight to the
I
point.
know.
It's like when you have a sound man that's a nice guy.
Right.
You have a sound man that's a super nice
It
guy.
was
you're like,
exactly
oh, this
like
is gonna
that.
suck.
Like, and
If you-
I thought my first psychiatrist, like, and she has tons of credentials. So I was just like, really? But
Yeah.
she knew what she was talking about.
You get that crusty old sound guy, and
Yeah.
he's like, "Fucking throw
It's
your
like,
shit
"Fuck
on
you."
stage," and he's all mad at you and shit. It usually
And then you hear in the house and you're like,
pretty
ah,
good.
is that Angel? That's me. Yeah. So that's been super helpful. Okay, tell me about. We won't even go to. I wrote some questions those are too deep of topics to go into right now.
Yeah, we gotta wrap this up pretty soon.
All right, yeah. Where do you want to go with your mental health? Where do you want to be in a year from now?
Oneness, man. Patience. I want to be calm. I don't want to get frustrated doing simple tasks. That's it. Oneness. Waking up, feeling grateful for what I have. Just contentment, man. Like that real oneness. I mean,
So
that's
how do
not
you
a
get
year.
that?
That's not a
How do
year
you do
away.
that? How do you get
I work
there?
on it every single day. Every single day, I try to get there.
Are you open to getting any help to get there?
I want a spiritual guru.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll hook you up with mine.
What's that? Yeah, of
Oh yeah.
course. You're good.
Oh, I want to talk about my earthing mat.
Hey,
or
send
my
us
grounding
clips
mat.
next time.
You didn't send any clips. Kid clips. I could be wrong, but I think that my mat that I have, my earthing grounding mat, I sleep every night with my feet on it. I think it's helping.
I think that's trash.
It's not. You didn't watch the documentary.
Is it good?
I know that it
Documentary made by
seems-
the people who sell it.
No, dude. No.
Oh, okay.
No. It's a philosophy. It's a medical philosophy.
We're allowed to disagree. That's what this
But
is
you
all
can't
about.
disagree if you haven't seen it. If you watch it and then we disagree, then that's disagreeing.
All right,
Right now,
fine.
you're just speaking from a place of ignorance.
Oh, snap.
That's true because you haven't watched it. You don't know what the science is behind it.
No, you're right.
So, I know that it seems like stupid because it's so simple,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And they talk about that in the documentary. They're like, yes, this seems like really too simple to be effective, but it makes perfect sense.
And you're 100% sure the documentary is not made by the people who sell the thing?
Yes, because
Okay.
I bought it on Amazon. I didn't buy it from them.
Okay.
I didn't buy it from a company
This
that.
world's full of crooks.
I know that. I know that.
Snake oil.
And that doesn't mean you can't
salesmen.
get like bogus earthing mats for a lot of money.
Yeah.
You know, yes, there's people that profit off that.
Right.
These people they did a documentary
All
about
right,
a man
I'll
that wrote a
watch.
book
I'll watch.
about it.
We're talking about a grounding mat right now.
Yes. And
We gotta wrap-
essentially the science
gotta
of
wrap
that
this
is that we walk around not connected to the earth and that we hold a certain electrical charge in our bodies and the earth, like grounding a wire, you know, like a live wire, you ground the wire. We need to ground our bodies into the earth because you ground a wire into the earth as well.
Yeah, and when you know about gas fires,
What about it?
well, you have to ground yourself when you get out of your car if you're pumping gas, or
Yeah.
the static will start. We saw
Same
one the other
thing.
day here in Vegas, down the street.
Oh, I've seen one too at a gas station.
Oh
down
my
there.
goodness, it's scary.
I mean, so why doesn't that make sense to you? That we used to spend as
Well,
humans
yeah, that's why I just tried
for,
to make sense
you
of it.
know,
But
millennia.
what does the mat you have do? It just plugs into the wall.
So we used to spend a millennia with our feet on the ground, discharging our energy through grounding with the earth, which
So-
the earth does for us naturally. The mat replicates the discharge that the earth would give to us. So you discharge the energy you're holding in your
doesn't
body.
that happen when I like go outside and touch my car? Anyway,
Your car? No. If you go outside with your bare feet on the ground, yes.
I do that all the time too.
Okay, great. That's what I'm saying though. The only reason I got it is because there's no grass around here. I don't go outside.
Well, what about on like just being on the
I don't know how it
like
is
the
like
concrete.
on cement or whatever, but
or the cement?
anytime you're touching the ground with your bare feet, you are grounding.
Hmm.
Anytime. But for people that don't get to be outside a lot, which I don't, there's not a lot of parks and grass and ground around
All
here.
right, I'm gonna try to find some. I'll watch your thing and then I'll
Okay.
do my research
All right, can
on
we
my
talk about
own.
it next week?
Yeah.
You promise you will?
Yeah, I promise. Write it down. Write it down. We'll talk.
I don't have to. It's in my room.
We'll have an argument about
But
this grounding pad.
I think it's helped me with restlessness during the night and sleeping better, and it helps with inflammation in your body. So anyway, what else? Can I talk about some of my books and podcasts that are helpful to me?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so my recommendations for podcasts for my mental health are Healing with David Kessler. He talks about with people, like he dives into grief. He's a grief counselor, and it's really beautiful. His podcast is really beautiful. Brene Brown, which I think is a little cheesy, but honestly, she's really good at that stuff. And then We Can Do Hard Things with Glennon Doyle, who I love her, and she does it with her wife Abby. And she used to be a religious Christian writer, and then she divorced her husband and became a lesbian and married a lesbian athlete. Did you know that?
No.
Okay. So, but anyway, but her phrase is We Can Do Hard Things, and they do a podcast that's actually really good and dives into a lot of stuff. Some of the books that have been super helpful to me are The Untethered Soul, The Four Agreements.
That's a good
big,
one.
big one is The Body Keeps the Score. Everybody
Agreements
talks
is
about this.
huge.
Did you read that?
Only bits and pieces, but I get the whole
All
deal
right.
a little bit.
Oh, you okay?
I didn't read the whole thing.
You should read the whole thing. The Body Keeps the Score is a really, really big one because it talks about how trauma is stored in our physical bodies, and it's a scientific book with and there's a workbook that goes with that. That's good to work through. There's a book called Letting Go that's really good. I'm reading a book called Complex PTSD From Surviving to Thriving because CPSD is one of my diagnoses. And that is the most accessible book that I've ever read about how my brain and body works in trigger responses and whatever. And it's really, really like hands-on. Like, here's what's happening, here's what to do about it. And I love that. There's a book, The Prophet by Khalil Gibran. That's just a beautiful book that I think everybody should read. And The Artist's Way. Have you read that one? No. A lot of artist friends that we have
I've
also
read
it.
Books, you know
okay.
this.
All right. Well, The Artist's Way I've read like half of it, and it's been recommended to me by a lot of like our artist friends that I really respect, that like it really profoundly changed their lives. And as artists, our mental health is important.
Send them to me on Audible, and
okay,
I
will.
I'll listen to all of them.
But the last thing I wanted to ask you about was like, how does mental health affect you as an artist?
Oh man, self-doubt.
Do you think
it's everything?
Well, here's my question.
It's what makes people quit, I think.
Are we more creative when we're in pain and in turmoil?
Hell yeah.
So are we destined to always seek out our turmoil to be able to create, or is there a way to have balance and also create?
I think
do you think there's a balance that can happen?
I do. I think there is a balance, but I think most it's cliche as fuck, but like I think most great artists are a little bit crazy, and I think the best shit that I've ever done is when I've been in turmoil, like you said, and I think my brain has gone after turmoil.
Do you know why I think why though? I think that people that that have mental illness, we have a better understanding. We don't live in the middle. We live here and we live here.
Yeah.
And I feel like really normal people live pretty much in a range of the middle, where like they feel happy, they feel a little sad, and that's it.
Yeah.
And we feel elation.
Yeah.
To a degree that I don't think a lot of people do. We feel like we've touched heaven, and we feel like we've touched hell.
Yeah, that's
and we
true.
Don't live a lot in the middle, and that's why we don't have balance. But like, is that required to be an artist?
Yeah, because, man, it's just like there's sometimes it's just like glory.
I know.
Like everybody loves me. This is wonderful, and then it's like
I'm suicidal. I don't mean anything. I should die.
Yeah, nobody gives a fuck.
Yeah,
Everybody hates you.
So I don't know. Maybe that's something we can talk about later, like that question of balance.
All right,
Because
I mean, we do have to wrap this up. We
I know,
don't
I get
have-
it.
Have like,
That's fine.
they don't want to need to be too long.
I get it. I know. I'm sorry.
What
We
do you
said we'd
think
go
out
as long
there?
as
What do you think out there? Can these just be as long as possible, or do we?
I listen.
keep
If
it
I'm
to-
interested in a podcast, I'll listen to it for 2 hours.
All right,
It doesn't matter. People can skip ahead if they're bored. It
All right.
doesn't matter.
fair enough.
It doesn't matter.
All right, so Michael Mathis, owner of the Root on the Hill in
Yeah,
Boulder,
yeah.
good friend of mine. He was out here. He does poker tournaments and
Mhm.
shit sometimes out here.
I know. He came out
He
here.
sent me an article. Police in Edgewater say they want people to be informed about this scam.
Uh-oh. What is it?
Man playing violin in parking lot is faking it. Don't give him. Don't
You're
give
kidding
him
me.
money.
He made that up.
No, don't give
Are you
him money.
serious?
Yeah, it's an
You're
article.
kidding.
I wasn't able to pull up the article for some reason, but this is what I'm talking about. Edgewater, props to you, props to the police department.
This is a real article?
Yeah, I think.
Is that the guy you saw?
I think so.
Oh, no, you saw him out here.
Look it up if you want. CBS Denver. Look it up right now on your
Oh my
computer.
God, he's faking. Don't give him money. See, leave it
Yeah.
to the news.
Yes.
They'll do it for you.
So we were talking about this
Last week.
You were talking about this last week because there was a guy out front of Home Depot doing the same thing, faking playing violin, and I wanted to confront him because I do it for real. I go out on the strip, and that's how I make my money because I play cello over stuff, but I do it for real.
That guy must have been faking it real bad for the news to get involved.
I love it. I love it. Thanks for sending me that, Mike. I really like to see that because because I'm holding it down for the real string players. I don't want to see that. It's a conflict of interest for the people who are out there doing it for real.
I get it, but you personally don't need to ruin anyone's day or their pocketbook.
Apparently, some people agree because they're like, he's faking it. Don't give him money.
Right,
Like,
I agree.
yeah.
So let those people do it. You don't need to do it. That's all I'm saying.
I didn't. I feel redemption.
personally
I
don't
didn't.
need-
I
yeah.
personally didn't have to do anything.
Are we doing
So
clips today?
that made me. I don't have any.
I sent you some.
What did you?
Are you serious? We just talked about this yesterday.
sent me
I sent them
one?
to the email. I sent you 3
Oh, to the email.
because I said you wanted me to send them to
I
the
can get 'em.
email.
I can get them.
It doesn't matter.
What are they?
We started the day fighting.
they
Let's
funny?
Just end it fighting. I don't even remember. I don't even think they were funny. I think they were just like pertaining to they were what I liked this week.
I can pull them up. I didn't think you actually sent the email.
Are you? I was doing it right in front of you.
Listen, I don't have the Still Friends email yet in my.
But we were
thing.
literally this far apart, and I said I'm sending them to the
Oh my
email
god,
right now.
let's just fucking keep arguing about it on our live
Okay,
stream.
let's do it.
You have to fill time if I'm gonna look for these. You just had plenty of shit to
I
talk about a
can't-
2nd ago.
I'm out now. Now I'm
Oh
upset.
really? Then we should probably fucking end it then. I'll grab your clips for next
The
week.
kids didn't send any.
No.
We gotta end on some kind of high note here.
Okay, you're right. I'll get them.
Here, while you're looking at it, I'll show my books in case anybody wants to see them. Why is that funny? So they can look on Amazon.
Okay, true.
Here, this is a good one. Wait, where's the camera?
Can you forward it to my email? I'm not logged in, and we don't want to. Are we gonna say the login on?
Well,
On
then
the
probably
live
the
stream?
kids sent them too because I told everybody to send them to that this week.
Oh, wow.
Because that's what I asked you and you said yeah.
So forward it to my email. Please.
Okay, give me 10 minutes
Thank
to
you.
figure that out.
That shouldn't take 10 minutes to figure out. Yeah, props to Edgewater. Thank you for informing people about this violin scam.
I think one of them might cause an argument between us, and one of them is just music.
I wanted to say,
Okay, I just
oh,
sent them all.
Sandy, if you have a topic, send it to that email, please, for next week.
And he promises to log in by next week.
Oh my God.
You want to fight when we're done?
Yes. If you don't stop.
We didn't tell anybody that we get along all the time. We don't have to pretend to get along all the time.
You shut the fuck up.
You know, while you're looking at that, I want to talk about the fact that we definitely were at odds most of the week.
Yeah, we
Really
fought a
not
lot.
getting along at all.
Yeah.
At all.
Oh, I told you I
And
was
that's not
depressed
a-
this week. That's why I didn't
I
have
know,
the videos
but let me
prepped.
say what I was going to say. Oops. So we had a really hard week. I thought it was going to be a hard episode today because we just were not on the same page whatsoever. And then we worked on music for a little while and it fixed it, you know? Like an hour of working on music
Yeah.
fixed it, and we were back on track. And I think that's great. That's our thing. That's what we have.
I'm not going to be able to do this. It's going to take forever. I have to download the
Oh
clips.
my God. We're just going to end fighting?
Yeah.
That's fitting.
Sorry.
Okay. Here's the bummer of an episode called Mental Health.
No, we ended up on high note. We talked about things you can do to fix your mental health and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but I really want you to seek out those things too. Everybody needs support. All right. Well, he's going to watch the documentary before next week, right?
Yeah.
Promise?
Yeah.
Do you want to give me any homework? You want me to watch some right-wing bullshit that I can talk about next week?
No, I don't know yet. I'd have to.
Should I just listen to Joe Rogan over the week?
Let me know if you send me videos and you want me to pull them up so that I can download them. I can't just magically pull them
I
off.
let you know
email.
yesterday, but I'll let you know again next week.
You did not.
Yes, I did. We were sitting right here talking about it. I said, where do you want me to send the clips? Should I send them to the email? And you're like, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I said, okay, I'm going to tell all the kids to send it to Still Friends.
I didn't think you followed through. Sorry. This is a horrible way to end. We cannot.
I know. How do we end
this
this?
way?
Should we play
Get
a
me
song?
out of this loop.
Somebody
Fucking
tell a joke.
damn it.
Send a TikTok.
Somebody tell a fucking joke.
Oh my God. Do you have any funny stories for the week then to end it up? Oh, I'll tell you the highlight of my week.
Oh, did I have a funny story this week? Thought I did.
The
Can we end
highlight-
it with my super my super encouraging poem?
Oh my God.
No,
That's
no.
so dark. No.
No.
The highlight of my week was that a respiratory therapist or anesthesiologist or some kind of doctor walked past me at work the other day and came up to me and said, and like whispered, like secret to me, he's like, you've lost a lot of weight. And I was like, thank you. Like, I was so excited that he said that. And I was like, nobody said that to me yet. Thank you so much. And he was like, oh, so it's on purpose? And I was like, what do you, I was like, well, I'm not like on a diet or anything, but like, I didn't get it, like what he was saying. And then whatever he said next, I was like, oh no, it's not a health condition. Like, I'm not sick. And he was like, oh, good. But like anybody, like him telling me that I lost so much weight made me feel really good because nobody said anything.
Well, you tell me about that Goomba you met?
Oh, I can't. Probably he's from here.
Oh shit, never mind.
He's from Vegas.
Scratch that.
I'm pretty sure I met a very real,
true Goomba.
a true soprano type person.
Yeah, we've been watching The Sopranos.
Oh, that's what I wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
In the beginning is like our one common thing is that we started watching The Sopranos together. Because like years ago, I had never seen the X-Files. So when we were living together many years ago, we watched the X-Files for a couple months. And that was really fun. It was like a whole summer we watched that together.
Oh yeah.
And we haven't done anything like that since.
Tell them about the X-Files guide. It's important that people know about that.
The guide?
Yeah.
Oh, where do you find that? Is it online?
Yeah.
You can find a guide that tells you, because X-Files goes in between like, you know, Mulder and Scully stories, and then just like weird offshoot monster stories.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can find the episode guide that tells you just how to stay on the storyline the whole time and skip the other ones that don't matter. But I will say that one of those episodes had the enigma. Can I tell my enigma story? Riley's not listening. So I met the guy from the X-Files that has all the blue puzzle pieces. He won't watch this. He doesn't care. But I met him at a convention. And my daughter was with me at the convention. I was selling like my handmade crystal jewelry or something. And he came up to my daughter and said, hey, I think I'm going to be your new stepdad. And then he just like made me come watch him in his like performances all week, which were horrifying. Like he like threw up in a bottle and then drank it back and threw it back up or something. Like it was stuff like that. Like it was disgusting. You're not even listening. But anyway, I met Enigma from X-Files. And
keep talking to them because I'm pulling up clips.
Oh Lord. But we started Sopranos. We're in season 2.
Hey, it's a good thing to talk about on our mental health
Oh my God, yeah. And you
Yeah.
know what? Because that's what we love about the show is that we didn't know that the premise of the show was him talking to a therapist, and that was like a catalyst for like conflict and drama and whatever in the show. And so we're early in season 2 right now. We haven't watched like at all this week. I don't think at all. We like watched the whole first season in one day, like 2 weeks ago. And then I told my kid, I'm like, we have to stop this because we can't stop talking like Italian New Yorkers. It's so annoying. Like everything we do, we're talking to each other like that. I'm like, that's so annoying. We have to stop. But we got to pick it up. We can watch an episode tonight.
This is impossible right now because of everything.
What are
that's
you
running.
doing?
I'm trying to download your damn clips.
I thought we weren't doing that.
I've been trying the whole time.
Oh my God.
It's not that easy. You got to convert them and
Dude, we'll do it.
download them and prep them. As long as we're ending on a good note, I will have your clips for next time, I promise.
One of the clips that everybody should look up though is there's this guy Matt IV or something like that.
I mean, I could just put them on here, honestly.
He really?
Yeah, it'll probably sound really shitty through our microphones, but it's just the end of the stream, so whatever.
One of them, it was like shocking, and I want to know your take on it, which is why I sent it to you.
Let's just make this thing out.
Nobody has to watch any longer than they want to, okay?
Okay.
Everybody has free
Yeah,
will.
no, that's true.
You have free
Is
will.
this it? Is this the thing?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my God, I need your take on this.
All right, let's see. Let me know if this sounds awful in the comments, please, because I'll figure out a better way to do this. But
September. What I love most about it is that it's invite only, so not just anyone can join. First of all, it's free to use, and for my ladies, they'll never have to pay because we all get premium subscriptions for simply inviting.
This is real?
This is real.
Gentlemen, if you want access to premium, that's on you. And by the way, those are the only 2 options. Ladies and gentlemen, the right step is all about getting into the right dating pool with people who share the same values and beliefs as you. You'll start off by building your perfect profile. No pronouns necessary. We want you to put your best foot forward, which includes your favorite photos of yourself doing what you love or being
Hunting.
they're just dogging on woke people. Like,
Yeah.
what is not even necessary? Like, no pronouns necessary.
You have to watch the subsequent things. Just
I'm so excited to announce a dating app for all of us conservatives. It's called The Right Stuff, and it's lots of what I love most about it is that it's invite only, so not just anyone can join. First of all, it's free.
Corporate America is hilarious.
okay, you watch this. So go.
Huh?
Can you swipe to the next frame?
Hey guys,
Oh,
I'm
I don't know.
Ryan. I've got to tell you
And they,
about something I am
yeah.
so
There you go. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, a gay billionaire is backing it, but he can't use the app.
What? Is this real?
Yeah, this is real.
Oh, that's fucking hilarious.
Okay.
You'll start off by building your perfect profile.
All right, there it is.
Hold on. Wait.
Are you sure?
Yeah, no, wait.
You'll start off by building your perfect profile. No pronouns necessary.
You already saw that. Oh.
No. Because you have to say male or female, right?
Profile. No pronouns.
Yeah, you have to
Yeah,
say male or
yeah,
female.
definitely.
So pronouns are
At
necessary.
least.
Where were you on January 6th? That's when you know what that is, right?
No.
That's when the White House was taken over.
Oh, the. Oh yeah, I remember now. I didn't know when.
Yeah.
So bad. Okay.
The comments were all gay people like, give me an invite.
All right. Let me get the next
Not
one.
wanting kids is not an option. Do you see that?
Want kids, open to kids. I have kids, not sure yet. Oh man,
Right? Okay, what's your take on that?
I thought that was all hilarious.
Do you
I
think
mean,
that's ridiculous and extreme?
to have a right-wing dating app?
Yeah.
No, I think it's totally legit. If they want to have a right-wing dating app, they
Do
can.
you know how many gay queens are going to make like fake profiles and catfish those people?
Oh,
gonna be
online dating
amazing.
is already a mess, dude. It's
amazing.
Whatever.
No pronouns necessary. That is really funny.
That was. that
Because
is
yeah,
funny,
it is.
'cause,
It
yeah,
is.
totally
You
is.
said there's only 2, male and female. No pronouns
Wait, did I just
necessary.
type the same thing? Yeah, I did. Here we go. Matt Bernstein.
What?
Oh,
no.
Here,
Maddie Ivy.
I got you.
Are you doing another one?
Yeah,
I want you to play the guitar one. It's so beautiful.
I think that's this one.
First of all, if it's the guitar one, I think this. Oh my god, I think this is the most attractive person I've ever
Oh,
seen.
I think I've seen this. I've seen this too.
It's just so beautiful, and he's beautiful.
Dang.
I would have sex with that person in a second.
Can you learn how to play like that, please? Damn.
Ugh. Can we go see them if they come to Vegas? He's in a band.
Yeah.
I was hoping it was a girl, but it's a lesbian girl, but I think it's a guy. Ugh, it's so sexy. Oh my
That's
god.
it?
Yeah.
I
That's
sample
a
that.
sexy human with a sexy guitar.
I'm happy
You
to
can't,
sample.
they're famous.
I could sample
They're
whatever I want.
famous, you can't.
Okay. You ready?
Is that not beautiful?
You ready to cut out of here?
Yeah.
Hey,
On that note,
please,
yeah.
Listen. Yeah, let's set that
Ugh,
on the show.
so beautiful.
That's really pretty.
Dimple? Oh my god, I want to marry that person.
Hey, listen, email us at stillfriendslive@gmail, please, with any of your ideas or concerns or
And as last
stories.
week, if you need anybody to talk to,
Or
if
if
you
you
need to
just-
reach out, if you're in crisis,
Right.
if you need resources to crisis lines, anything like that, I have stuff like that for you. Like if you just need to be heard or listened to or vent or whatever,
Yeah.
whatever it is, like we're here for you. No
Eventually-
judgment, no judgment.
Eventually, I'm going
and-
to add a simple phone line for just a call line. Like
Yeah.
it might get answered, it might not get answered, but if you're really, really like feeling troubled, we'll have
Like
that
no
line.
matter what, at the end of the day, we just want to be like humans here for other humans, and
Yeah.
we want to connect with all of you and give ourselves to you, and whatever you need, like we want to help you. You
Yep.
know,
Please interact. Please hit us up. We're here.
you're not alone. Nobody's alone. You're not alone.
We love you. And as always, we're always okay.
Are we
right?
still okay?
Yeah.
We're always okay.
We may not always agree, but we're always okay.
Oh, that's not our handshake.
Yeah. Oh, my bad.
Okay, we're always okay.
All right. Bye, guys.
Make it go